Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this morning's live streaming. Naqshbandi Tariqat and Shah Bahauddin. Naqshbandi Tariqat and Shah Bahauddin. The Sufi path began with the Noor of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala via his Prophet Hazrat Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammad Mustafa Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Payghambar sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the beginning, the Tariqat came to be known as Siddiqiyya, and this word came because of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, who was the second in line of the golden chain of the masters. He was the first disciple of Hazrat Payghambar sallallahu alaihi wasallam and also his father-in-law, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. Siddiq means true. This name continued the system. The Tariqat came to be known as Siddiqiyya, and it remained until it came to be known as Tayfurian. Then with the 11th Sheikh Ibn Khalid Gizdwani, it came to be known as Khwazagania. And when Hazrat Shah Bahauddin Naqshband came on the spiritual horizon as the 17th Sheikh of the Golden Chain, the system came to be known as Naqshbandiya. With the advent of Shah Bahauddin, however, it came to be known as Naqshbandiya, and from then onwards it remains as Naqshbandiya Tariqat. Naqsh means impressions. Bandiya means one who makes the impression. Hazrat Shah Bahauddin, he was a potter by profession. When he is making the pots, he used to engrave intricate spiritual designs on the pots. So his Sheikh Hazrat Amir Kalal said, "You are becoming Naqshbandiya. You are the engraver of the impressions." Just as when you meet someone and something of him is engraved on your heart, maybe his mannerism, maybe his understanding, and that leaves an indelible impression on your heart, and that becomes the beacon light for you. That is what Naqsh is. And when, first of all, the pots are made out of clay, the designs are engraved, then these are dried in the sun, and thereafter these are baked. So when a disciple comes to the master, first the master prepares the ground, then he engraves something on his heart, and then in the intense love and understanding he bakes these. Those impressions become engraved on your heart. like an indelible impressions, and they continue to guide you through life's vicissitudes. About the Naqshbandi Tariqat, Hazrat Shah Bahauddin said, "Our way is very rare and precious. It is the way of remaining firm and steadfast in the footsteps of Prophet and his companions. Saints follow the saintly path. बुजुर्ग गुजरते हैं बुजुर्गी की राह से." The way of remaining firm and steadfast in the footsteps of the Holy Prophet and his companions. They brought me to this way from the door of favors, because at its beginning and at its end, I witnessed nothing but the favors of God. What we favor, what we witness, problems. This should not be this way, or that should not be this way. We have not gotten the vision to see the process of transformation hidden behind every turmoil. Autumn comes, the leaves fall, the tree becomes bare, then spring comes, new foliage, a new portrayal, new fragrance and blossoming. He says, from the beginning to the end, I witnessed nothing but favors of God. In this way, great doors of heavenly knowledge will be opened for you. The moment, as long as your vision is on shortcomings, you will not be able to see the light. The moment your attention, your focus changes from laments to favors, tremendous doors open, many doors open. Doors of heavenly knowledge will be opened up. The seeker who follows the footsteps of the masters, of the Holy Prophet. To follow the Sunnah of the Prophet is the most important means by which doors will be opened. That's why I said saints follow the saintly path. If you deviate from that, because you do not understand the language that was used by Holy Prophet, Arabic and Persian. The earlier masters used Arabic and Persian language, but the message of the master is not contained in the language. It is embedded, it is hidden behind the words. Words are simply the containers. You have to move from the known to the unknown. You have to connect to his nisbat. That is what it is called, nisbat. You are connected to him not through the words, but through his energy field, through his consciousness. How would this particular master will act in this, under this circumstance and situation? Problems come and go. Right and wrong come and go. Good and bad come and go. But there is something that never changes. The substratum. Out of gold, gold is the substratum. Out of that, different things come into existence, stay in a particular form, the form changes. But that which never changes is the substratum, is the gold, remains. It is visible, but you do not see the gold, instead you see the ring. You see the manifestation. Masters do not do anything new. They present the old wine in a new bottle. Whatsoever the old techniques are, how they have to be applied in the present day terminology, present day technology, present day situation. Earlier on, we used to have the scripts handwritten. Now, with the modern facilities of social media, with YouTube, Facebook, it has become a lot easier to commune. The world has become shortened. We can, from our studios, we can establish a communion with all those who are on the path, who are ready to follow the Sunnah, the path laid by the masters is the most important means by which the doors will be opened to you. He said, whoever is not coming in our way, coming to our way, our way means the way of the masters. His religion, his way is in danger. He was asked, how does one come to your way? He replied, by following the path laid down by the masters. We have carried this way, and in return, Allah has blessed us with honor. Some people said about him that he was sometimes arrogant. He said we are proud because of him, because he is our Lord, giving up his support. To reach the secrets of oneness is sometimes possible, but to reach the secrets of the spiritual knowledge, marfat, is extremely difficult. Spiritual awareness is marfat. Spiritual knowledge is like water. It takes the color and shape of the cup or the container wherever it is kept. Allah's knowledge is so great that however much we take, it is like a drop of the vast ocean. It is like a vast garden. How many flowers we cut, it is as if we have cut only one flower. Naqshbandi Sufi order, as I have mentioned earlier, traces his lineage back to Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Abu Bakr, and other masters or the central figures in the Islamic in Islam, derives its name from the present form, that of a 14th century mystic Shah Bahauddin Naqshbandi. He was born in 1318 in the village Kasar, which came to be known as Kasar-e Arifan, near Bukhara in Uzbekistan. Bahauddin experienced profound visionary revelations in his youth, became a brilliant Islamic scholar before he attained the age of 20. He made a pilgrimage 3 times and became greatly venerated holy man during his lifetime. Visitors from across Central Asia come to Bukhara to see the sage, seek his advice, and receive teachings in the school he had established. In 1389, he entered Alam-e-Ghaib. Shah Bahauddin was buried adjacent to his school, directly upon the site of an ancient pagan temple. The Naqshbandi Sufi order is one of the oldest living traditional Sufi orders. The earlier members of the order rejected outward shows of religious expressions, and concentrated upon the inner spiritual life while engaged in day-to-day affairs of the world for living. With followers throughout the Central Asia, Turkey, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and now the wider part of the West, Germany, United States, United Kingdom, the Naqshbandi Sufi, as both traveling merchants and mystics, played a major role in the introduction of Nur of Allah across Asia. Believing that piety is better expressed by social activities than retreat from the world, the Naqshbandi masters often became actively involved in politics of the time. By the 15th century, they had become the dominant Sufi order in much of the Central Asia and actively influenced the politics from China to India to the Middle East. Today, the Naqshbandi order is the foremost Sufi order in the world and is experiencing an unprecedented period of growth, and only in its traditional heartland of Central Asia, Turkey, Middle East, South Asia, and in the nations of the Western world, particularly United States, Great Britain, and Germany. It was from Hazrat Amir Kalal, whose shrine is also in Bukhara, that Shah Bahauddin received his fundamental training on the path, and whose company he kept for many years. Still more significant, however, was the instruction Bahauddin received in the method of silent zikr from the Ruhaniyat, from the Nisbat of Abdul Khalik Gizdwani. Ruhaniya refers to an initiation dispensed by the spiritual beings of a departed preceptor. It happens. The departed preceptors initiate. Although he was a spiritual descendant of Abdul Khalik, Amir Kalal practiced vocal zikr, and after Bahauddin received instructions of the silent zikr, he would absent himself from Amir Kalal's circle of followers. Amir Kalal, his sheikh, focused on the loud zikr. But Abdul Khalik, who initiated Bahauddin into silent zikr, so quite often when the session of the zikr was continuing in the commune of Hazrat Amir Kalal, Bahauddin used to absent himself from the circle. This separation of Bahauddin from Amir Kalal may be thought as marking of the final crystallization of the Naqshbandi Tariqat. Naqshbandis now are more focused on silent zikr. Silent zikr. The separation of the Bahauddin from Amir Kalal's circle may be thought as marking the final crystallization of the Naqshbandi Tariqat with silent zikr. It was received from the 11th Sheikh of the Golden Tariqat. Excuse me. Abdul Khalik Gizwani. His shrine is in Gizwan in Iran, and ultimately inherited from Hazrat Abu Bakr. This later established as the norm of the order. Once you are ready to travel along the inner journey, one has to sever all relations with the outer and more so with the lower emotions. When you close your eyes and you sit in Maraqba, the sense organs are no more functioning. The eyes are closed, the ears are closed, the nostrils. There is silent communion. It was considered all such emotions are ingredients, are impediments along the path. This was belief then. It was Aziza Ali Ramatini, who was the 23rd Sheikh in the Naqshbandi Tariqat, and it was he who directed Hazrat Baqi Billah Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu to visit India. And first he came on a trade mission, then he settled for 1 year in Kabul, thereafter shifted to Delhi, and where he established his Khanka. And his shrine is in Old Delhi behind the Paharganj railway station in the cemetery. Hazrat Baqi Billah. So it was Hazrat Ali Ramatini Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu who made certain changes in the technique and thus made the path easier for the aspirants to come. It was he who said, from now onwards, it was Hazrat Abu Bakr's, it was Hazrat Shah Bahauddin. He said, up to now the responsibility was of the Sheikh, was of the seeker. From now onwards, 80% will be the responsibility of the seeker and 20% will be the responsibility of the master. Earlier, the aspirant has to do every effort in this process, but from now onwards, 80% is the responsibility of the seeker and 20% is the responsibility of the master. But this could not be brought into practice until later when Hazrat Aziza Ali Ramatini came into existence. It was only Shah Bahauddin who brought this into the practice. He broke the tradition of Khanka and commune. He used to initiate people even during the travel and also en masse. Even those who have no inner preparation, Bahauddin used to initiate them. This process was later on introduced by Osho when he used to give sannyas to everyone. That was the first initiation. Out of his love, he used to bring the people into the fold, and as they have fallen in love with the master, then slowly and slowly the process becomes intense. If you have not fallen in love with the master, the process cannot happen, continue. He used to initiate them. Something like this has never happened. Earlier on, The seeker has to remain in the company of the master for a long period of time, and then he may be given a technique to practice. And this was changed. He used to give most intricate techniques which were forbidden up to now. Bahauddin started giving even those techniques which was not allowed for the seekers. They all felt these states they attained with so much effort, and now the master is sharing these with all and sundry without any reservation. Had Bahauddin not made such changes in the system in the Tariqat, the humanity would have remained deprived of this inner treasure. Each master, according to circumstances and situations and prevailing conditions, make necessary changes in the Tariqat. Another Naqshbandi Sheikh, Sufi Raghuvar Dayal, said, man attains much through the service to God. Through the creation. God is embedded in every cell of the universe that you see. It is said that we are doing the service to God, but the service to mankind is not done. Service to God is done through His creation. The greatest service is that of time. Devote your time in the service of the eternal. Because of all such changes in the system, this came to be known as Naqshbandi. Along with any technique or zikr, Bahauddin used to inscribe certain impressions on the heart of the seeker, and that worked like hypnosis. A certain impression is engraved on the heart. It worked like a hypnosis. Now the person cannot think of anything else. This is called inscription. And these work very deep in human heart. This made Master Hazrat Amir Kalal say that you are Naqshbandiya now, one who makes impression, and that's why the system came to be known as Naqshbandiya. Shah Bahauddin was his name. Naqshbandiya was his tariqat, that he introduced the way, the technique that he introduced in the tariqat. Today the Naqshbandi order is the foremost Sufi order in the world, and it is experiencing an unprecedented period of growth, not only in its traditional heartland of Central Asia, Turkey, Middle East and South Asia, instead in the nations of the Western world, particularly United States, Great Britain, and certain parts of Europe. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.